Listen, can you hear it? I never thought I'd hear the sound of leaves crunching under my son's feet. Hey, you have a good ride, buddy. For a mom who's been told that her son may never walk, this is what a miracle sounds like.
Will Rogers once said that there's something about the outside of a horse that's good for the inside of a man. Those words have never rung truer than here at Giant Steps. Hello, I'm Robert Pope. This is Balthazar. Giant Steps was founded on the belief that caring for and riding horses can heal and change the lives of individuals with physical, emotional, and developmental disabilities, as well as children who are considered to be at risk. They come to us from all over the Bay Area to a safe and secure environment where they're allowed to focus not on their limitations, but on what they can do. They interact with the 1,200-pound therapist and best friend, and the results are extraordinary. Being able to accomplish goals never before dreamed of gives the rider a new sense of freedom and self-esteem. We've seen these horses do extraordinary things to care for and support their riders. They intuitively understand that there's someone very special on their backs. It's an amazing and very touching thing to see.
Right there. Good.
Having the chance to be on a horse takes a rider to a new and unexplored world, a world full of possibilities and hope. The human-animal connection, especially horses, is very, very deep. We see children who have speech problems, autism, for example, or severe stuttering, who have no trouble talking to their animals. While most of our lessons are in small groups, each rider has specific goals that we establish by consulting with their physicians, parents, educators, and other therapists. Their lessons are individually designed to help them achieve those goals. Daniel is 8 years old and has verbal apraxia, which has effects on speech similar to that of a stroke. When he first came to Giant Steps, he wasn't able to verbalize the words that were in his head. The motion of the horse has stimulated neural pathways to allow him today, 2 years later, to not only speak those words, but to sequence them into complete sentences in a very strong voice. DJ has cerebral palsy and has been riding with us for 4 years, and he really has made giant steps in his progress.
When DJ first started riding here at Giant Steps, he could not walk or talk. Traditional therapy methods had him in leg braces up to his knees. He stood in a standing platform so that he could bear weight in his legs, and he rode around in a wheelchair. The bones in his legs weren't developing, and the doctors were getting quite concerned. We had a therapist tell us that he didn't seem to have any awareness of his body from the waist down. So when we brought him to Giant Steps, things started to turn around, and you can imagine my surprise the day I walked into his classroom and heard his teacher scolding him for running. I didn't quite react the way the teacher expected. DJ's also started talking since being here at Giant Steps. One day I heard his instructor ask him to tell his horse Mered to walk on. I was just about ready to say he can't do that when I heard his little voice say, "Walk on, Mered." Walk on.
The movement of a horse is the closest thing there is to the human stride. So when riding, the rider's body mimics the horse's movement as if it were actually walking. There is no clinical setting that can produce this effect. Andrew has cerebral palsy. He's 6 years old and has been riding with us for 19 months. Here, Andrew and his friend Major are partnered to engage in activities that are fun yet challenging. Major is carefully trained to stand perfectly still, while Andrew is lifted out of his wheelchair by a specifically designed hydraulic lift. When he first came to Giant Steps, Andrew couldn't sit without support. His lessons have focused on trunk stability, increased lung capacity, alignment, and balance.
Horse anatomy and human anatomy are very similar. So you use the movement of the horse to get that input to the person. So as the horse moves, the rider's body mimics that movement, and they start developing those neurological inputs that are more of a developmental sequence that they should have had that were interrupted by their disability. So as the horse moves, that input gets translated to the rider, and they start developing a motor program for a more functional movement. The fishing is used because I'm working on trunk stabilization. We've got his pelvic going well enough that he can sit up there now, and now I want him to be able to hold that trunk and reach away from his body to pick up an object. It's very difficult for someone with cerebral palsy because they don't have a lot of arm control. They get spastic movements. So with him, if I can get his alignment, he gets his trunk where he needs it to be, and then I remind him to slowly move his arm, he's able to reach away and bring an object to him. And if you thought about throughout your day, just bringing a cup of water to your lips, being able to comb your hair, brush your teeth, all those activities, he's dependent on somebody for. If we can give him that independence, he can do it all himself. The better off for him, better for his family.
We're very privileged to be able to work with a therapy that's effective with so many different disabilities and age groups. Our clients come from all over, referrals from physicians, special education teachers, physical, occupational, and speech therapists, and also from parents and caregivers. Right now, our youngest rider is 4 years old, and our oldest is 94. Professional staff, horse care, and scholarships and everything else that goes into running this program are very expensive. As a nonprofit that doesn't receive government funding of any kind, we must raise every dollar necessary to run the program. For that, we count on the generosity of individuals, private foundations, and corporations.
Oh, there you go. That's it. That's it. Little higher, little higher. DJ's newfound abilities have changed the life of our entire family. Little things like going to the pumpkin patch or cutting down your Christmas tree were things that we just couldn't do with him. But now we take simple pleasure in watching him leaving footprints in the sand. The day our family discovered Giant Steps was the day that our world began to change. That's the day that our son began to accomplish things that we never dreamed were possible.
The essence of Giant Steps is a certain magic that takes place when so many, our riders, horses, and committed staff and volunteers, come together to create something special. Special people for special needs. It brings to mind a quote from Oliver Wendell Holmes, who said, "To many, the words of hope, love, and dreams are synonymous with horses."